Hi again, welcome to The Way I Do It. If you haven't been here before, my name is Chris. Today, you can see behind me this beautiful living quarter horse trailer. So, today I'm going to talk about air admittance valves or cheater valves. So this is my beautiful living quarter horse trailer. Back there is the horse trailer part. And we've been having a problem getting an odor in here. And the odor actually will set off the gas alarm. That alarm right there is for your propane leak. That's what it's supposed to be for, propane leak. But because your tanks will create gas, it will read that gas as propane and just drive you freaking crazy. So there's many videos on YouTube that talk about the gas and stink that comes inside the living quarter area of their RV, motorhome. And some of these actually make the point on what to do with this. So they can make a point on how to make a longer video to get more views. That's not my objection here. So to keep it short and sweet, under the floor here, you have a gray water tank and a black water tank. Those tanks are sealed. They're connected. They have a vent that goes to the top of the camper. One vent in this case. Okay, so you have your black water here. The only black water on this camper is right here with the toilet. Now for odor to come through, you'd have to have a bad seal. Now generally, when you set up your camper, you want to, I don't have water connected, but you want water on top of that seal. It's okay to have like that, but generally you want a pool of water on top of there to make sure there's a good seal. Now obviously, just like in your home, there's going to be a seal around the bottom. That can be a wax ring around the bottom. So that's a place it can leak, but not really, okay, probably not. That's one place to check. Another thing to check is when you set your camper up, you want to make sure all your traps have water in them. So when you set the camper up, run water. You can even drive down the road with water in the trap, but always make sure when you set it up, you put water in the trap. So you need water in that one. You need water in this one. Now this one has a single trap, but without knowing, you might want to run water down both. Because my kitchen has two traps, okay? But there's one trap on this sink. This luxurious shower also has a trap. To clean it, it's accessible through this hole. But you still have to run water in this to block the odor from the gray water tank. Now, before I get farther on down the road, I am going to say that when you set up your camper, sometimes if you're like me, you leave your hot water tank full of water. And if you go to a campground, my hot water tank is here. If you go to a campground and you go 4 to 6 weeks and you leave the water in there, the campground may have a high concentration of chemicals in their water for purification, namely chlorine. Your hot water tank is going to have a consumable anode in it. And I believe that consumable anode reacts with the chlorine in the water and it makes kind of a putrid gas. When you turn the water on, generally you flush the pipe until you get fresh, clean, hot water. Okay, are you with me? Where's that go? All that chemical then goes into your gray water tank. And if you have any residue left over in there from the last time you used it, which most of us do, even though we drain it, that water from the water tank that's reacted with that anode can react with that, and poof, you get this big puff of gas. Well, again, if you have all your traps full, it shouldn't get in here. So what does that leave you with? Well, it leaves you with a couple of things. Number one, on your roof, where the vent is. The roof has to be able to move. Let's say this is your vent pipe, okay, like that, yeah. So the roof has to have some flexibility around the vent pipe so nothing breaks. So they just stick the vent pipe through. They put a cap on. They seal the cap to the roof. Around that pipe, they don't seal it. It's possible that the gas can come out that vent pipe, go through the crack around it, and come in through your ceiling somewhere. In my case, the vent actually goes inside this wall. Okay, straight on this side, it's got thickness here. And okay, the vent goes up through that wall. Now, if it was a case where it was getting gas through there, how would it ever get in the living quarters? So, yeah, I don't think so. So what that leaves is all the RVs, because they're lazy, they're made with this, what they call a cheater valve. It's an air admittance valve. Okay? There's going to be one at your bathroom. And there's one in that back hole under the kitchen sink. Okay, so what's an air admittance valve? Cheater valve? It's in lieu of having that vent. So in your home, many areas do not allow a cheater valve, especially where there's a toilet concerned. But people use them anyhow. They'll put in, because they don't want to go all the way through the roof. So they put in a cheater valve. The thing is, they're kind of high maintenance. So this is only 6 years old, okay? And all it is that little silicone flapper in there, okay? And that just screws down on there. This one, you can see, is called Vent Check 2, J&B RV products. So this is for RVs only. Why? Probably because it's extra cheap. NSF 24, extra cheap. So what I did to replace it is I went to my local Home Depot or Lowe's and I picked up this Studer brand. Now, Oatly makes them too, but I believe people have better luck with the Studer brand. It's a ready vent. Now this one is suitable for 1.5 inch threaded pipe and 2-inch plastic pipe. So it comes with this adapter that will actually glue on. Well, it'll thread on, or you can glue it. Okay, you can get whichever you want. Now that's a beast right there. Okay, and what it's made to do is it will suck air through there, but it won't burp. Can't blow it back out. Okay. So I also have this one. This is a bigger volume. They're measured in drainage fixture units, but basically it's the amount of air it will suck. So this one being actually 160. You can see it's larger than this one. This one's only 20. Okay, so this is just for a sink. This would be for your toilet, bathtub, so on. Now these are actually made to go in your home. So RV, home. These are actually pricey. There were this one was $30. This was $25. Inflation, I know, 2024. It's almost $25. So yeah, the RV one is probably about $10. But since it failed, and it's very annoying when it failed, I bought the home one. I probably could buy them online for cheap too. They did have a cheap one, but I want the better one. And these are directional because they do have, I'm not sure what they have in them. Probably the same thing, but I have seen these before years ago where they had like a ball in it with a spring, and they worked. Now it does say sewer vent, do not remove. Use pipe thread tape only. Do not glue. Okay. So yeah. But these are directional. They do have to be pointing up for best results. You don't want to put it sideways because gravity can affect it. And not that you would put your mouth on here, but you can see how they work. And if you turn it sideways, it might not work right. All right, so I swapped out, put the big one by the front sink, and I put the small one by the back sink. Okay, and I just had a thought. Okay, and this may have happened to you. But we have had times where we have been camping, okay? And this is our shower, all right? And this is our gray tank. So you put 3 people in here taking a shower. You fill up your gray tank to the point where you have water standing in your shower. Then you have somebody in here brushing their teeth, doing their hair. We've had times where we've seen the water back up into the sink. Guess what? This is below the height of the sink, which is a major fault of the cheater, okay? A major fault, and again, why they're probably not allowed. Why would you want this that is for gas only, for air suction only? Why would you want this below any water level in your plumbing? Because it's a cheater. You want to put it where it fits, and you don't want to plumb in a vent pipe properly. So, I believe what happened is this one that was under this sink, I believe it got contaminated with gray water, with soap residue on it, and it caused it not to work properly. If you see inside there, okay. So if you're having this problem and you're on the road, you don't have access to one of these, take it apart and wash it, because it could have gotten some debris in there, some mold. You could add water back up in it, so you could at least get that diaphragm clean. Not that I would put this to my mouth, but it doesn't seem faulty. But it could have had something trapped in there. You know, again, why on earth would you want something? You know, and the chance that it would probably airlock too, so it shouldn't have liquid in it. But hey. Now the final thing is you want to check all your plumbing. Make sure make your traps are tight. Make sure all your plumbing is tight, because there should be no reason to get gas in there. I've been working on my trailer. Do you know I did the bearings? Check the brakes? Yeah. So there's no reason to get gas in here, because it's a sealed system. So you shouldn't have to worry about ventilation. You shouldn't have to worry about cleaning your tank. Okay, if you have odor from cleaning from a dirty tank, a gray tank or a black tank, the odor should be apparent when you drain it. Or if you're on the roof, there really should not be gas coming into the living area because it's sealed. All right? So if you have questions or comments, put them below. I respond. And hey, thanks for watching. That's the way I do it. Here's a little bonus. So I cut this off. What it is it's probably like ultrasonically welded on each corner. Okay, on the forked corners. But this is what. So it has that rubber piece, that silicone rubber. And it's got this spring. Now, I don't know that it actually pulls it up tight enough to do anything. Okay, just enough. Okay, this is just the lightest spring. So there you go. If you wonder why it doesn't seal, right there. You know, and this could have been from getting filled up, okay? But just like a valve on an engine, if there's any car people out there, it should be perfectly clean, perfectly sealed. And again, this spring does nothing. Okay, let's see what we put this on it. See, this is only, I don't know, an ounce, and that'll collapse that spring. So that does nothing. So it just barely puts it in contact. So you actually almost have to rely on the gas pressure. But yeah. Chances are I could have washed that and made it work. And if you look down inside where it seals, you see that outer lip. It's about a millimeter, maybe. So it would seal And you can't really see on there where it contacts. Okay, where would that contact? I guess it would be right inside there. I would guess the contact area would be right here. Right inside there. But yeah, I don't like this at all. I mean, it actually has depth to it. And it appears that has depth because you can see that ceiling edge is probably 1 millimeter tall. But still, if that tapers, you know, I don't like it. I don't know. They're probably all like this. Like I say, the older ones were a round ball, but I'm sure the ball had issues too. But yeah, I would put money on it that this is where my odor was coming through. Let me look at the other one just for... Okay, so here's the other one. This is from the bathroom sink. This is from the kitchen area. So yeah. And the one in the kitchen has quite a distance to this cheater valve. So you can see that's fairly clean from the kitchen area. And this one in the bathroom, I would put money on it that's from being flooded. So yeah. And again, there's the cheesy spring. That would be on. This is really just a cover. Just doesn't really do anything. Not really needed is what I'm saying. It doesn't do anything. So yeah, if you take it off, if you cut it off, you actually could just clean it and put it back together. But considering they're $30 for a new one. So yeah, that's your extra right there. So that's where a lot of your odor. But again, it's a sealed system. You should not get any odor in your motorhome. Now, as far as those the vents on the roof that have the airflow, fine, suck all the gas out. You know, have the little whirligig on there. Pay the money for it. It might work. But yeah, if nothing else, you know, I would just pack something. You know, you don't want adhesive, but you could just take some insulation, some weather stripping, you know, just the rubber foam, and just put that around the pipe. There's usually on the roof you got to pull. There's one screw that holds, you know, it's got a cap like this, and on the side of it, it's got a screw that holds it in place. You got to dig out, because that stuff they seal the top with, they always put that on there. You got to dig that out, take the screw out, and this will just pull right off. And then the tube sticks up, and you can just put weather stripping around it. It's got to be able to move. But yeah, I don't think there's much gas that comes through. I think that's going to be your problem, the cheater valve. And again, like I say, most building codes do not allow those in residences, but they let them in your camper. And that little bugger right there will drive your wife crazy when it goes off and get you in a lot of trouble. So again, that's the way I do it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.